keep talking about Snow White, because Disney's Snow White remake, the box office has suffered a 66% drop in the second weekend of showing. So
Rachel Zegler has straight up vanished from the spotlight after the Snow White meltdown. Word is, she packed up and dipped to New York City just to dodge the chaos. People caught her riding the subway like a regular local, a wild fall from Hollywood glam to MTA trains. Ever since Disney's Snow White hit rock bottom, social media's been flooded with pics of deserted theaters, not a soul in sight. By the fourth weekend, the film was practically begging for attention. Over half the original screenings were wiped out, with theaters quick to replace it with box office winners. That's how bad it got. And just when you think it couldn't get more awkward, it does. One fan posted a TikTok from an empty theater. She was the only one watching Snow White. Just her, alone in the dark, surrounded by rows and rows of empty seats. She hung around for a few minutes, then bounced. Said it felt more like a haunted house than a Disney screening. By mid-April 2025, Snow White had been pulled from 1,200 theaters. Yeah, you read that right. From a massive 3,750 locations on opening weekend down to just 2,540. That's not a drop. That's a full-on box office nosedive. Even Forbes had to step in and confirm it. Theaters were canceling Snow White faster than anyone could have predicted. And the reason? Simple. No one was showing up. Some showings sold only 3 tickets. Total. Just imagine that. The daily per theater average? Around $53. You can't even buy dinner for 2 with that. By the end of April, theater owners had no choice but to yank it from the schedule, especially with big-name blockbusters like Minecraft, the movie, and Captain America, Brave New World drawing actual crowds. And here's the wildest part. While Rachel's Snow White was playing to empty rooms, Minecraft fans were literally showing up with live chickens to celebrate the premiere. Real birds in the seats. That's how hyped they were. This flop didn't stop at the US either. In China, footage popped up from massive IMAX screenings where the theaters were practically abandoned, and just when you thought Rachel Zegler couldn't take another hit, she walked into one of these ghost town showings in person, and the moment got caught on TikTok. That video of her sitting alone, it went viral fast, and not in a good way. Don't miss out on more jaw-dropping moments like this. Smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe for the latest celebrity shakeups. At this point, it's not just rumors. Rachel Zegler's Hollywood career is seriously hanging by a thread. Major studios are already backing away, fast. Behind the scenes, insiders are whispering that her behavior during the Snow White press tour, especially those heated political rants, turned her into a risky name no one wants to mess with. The industry's calling it, Rachel went from rising star to walking controversy overnight. On set, sources claim she was breaking down emotionally, trying to take control of everything, and constantly bringing politics into the mix. And it didn't just wreck one movie. Word is, Disney might be freezing plans for future woke remakes entirely, just to avoid another disaster like this. And get this, the money blow is massive. We're talking more than just a flop. Snow White is now being labeled the biggest bomb in Hollywood history. Yeah, ever. According to a brutal new report from Outkick, Disney insiders were hoping to limit losses to around $115 million. But that dream's dead. With the global box office stuck at just $195 million, losses are now expected to shoot past $145 million. That's not just a bad weekend. That's an entire strategy going down in flames. Looks like Disney's whole live-action remake formula just hit a wall. And Rachel's at the center of the crash. Want more behind-the-scenes chaos like this? Smash that like button, Throw your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We're just getting started. Disney CEO Bob Iger was recently put on the spot in an interview. And when asked about the studio being called woke, his response, awkward at best. He admitted he doesn't even really know what woke means anymore and claimed Disney's just trying to make a positive impact around the world. But come on, people aren't buying that talk. Because behind the scenes, the moves are speaking way louder. After the Snow White disaster, Disney hit the brakes hard on its next live-action remake, Tangled. And get this, Tangled was supposed to be their most expensive remake yet, with a budget even bigger than Snow White's. But now, it's been straight up shelved. Insiders say Disney didn't want to take another gamble, especially with Rachel Zegler's name in the mix again. Even before the box office crash, execs were sweating bullets over how Rachel was being seen by the public. And after the meltdown, they're out. Completely out. Big production houses are pulling away from Rachel fast. It's no longer just about one movie or one actress. This is about an entire billion-dollar live-action strategy crashing and burning in front of everyone's eyes. And for Disney, the storm's not over. There's more fallout coming, and Rachel Zegler's reputation is stuck dead center in the drama. Don't miss a second of this Hollywood chaos. Hit like, drop your takes in the comments, and slam that subscribe button for more inside dirt. Rachel Zegler's Snow White meltdown didn't just wreck her future in Hollywood. It straight up drove a wedge between her and the rest of the cast. Sources say Rachel's been spiraling ever since the internet came after her hard for those bold political takes and the whole woke image tied to Snow White. The backlash has been so intense, insiders claim she might even be looking into therapy just to handle the heat. And guess what? Her co-stars aren't standing by her anymore. Gal Gadot, who played the evil queen, recently made a slick move by throwing shade without dropping any names. Gal said the movie failed because of a lack of teamwork. Oof, we all know who that's about. But here's the real kicker. Behind the scenes, Disney allegedly begged Gal to say something to defend Rachel publicly and help fix the mess. But Gal straight up refused. She wasn't about to risk her own name trying to clean up someone else's drama. People involved are seriously mad that Rachel's public comments tanked the whole project and dragged everyone's rep down with it. And turns out, the rumors about Rachel being a control freak on set, not rumors at all. Insiders say she was constantly trying to call the shots, especially when it came to how Snow White should be portrayed. She even said during the press tour that all of Andrew's scenes could get cut, just like that. Who knows what else she tried to push behind the scenes? Hit that like button if this shocked you, drop a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. This saga's only getting messier. The drama surrounding Rachel Zegler just keeps getting messier, and now it's starting to affect other stars tied to Disney's upcoming projects. Insiders are whispering that several big-name actors are nervous about working with Disney, especially if there's even a chance they could be linked to another PR disaster like Snow White. Casting directors are reportedly hitting roadblocks, with talent demanding tighter contracts that let them distance themselves if controversy sparks again. It's getting tense behind the scenes. And Rachel? She's not helping her case. After her viral theater moment and the endless backlash online, she's been unusually quiet. But that silence is raising more eyebrows than it's calming. Fans are wondering if she's being told to lay low by her team, or if she's just trying to avoid another public misstep. Meanwhile, leaked audio from a production meeting revealed Disney executives stressing over their entire remake schedule. They're terrified another film could flop this hard. The word restructure is being thrown around now, and some projects might get axed before they even start filming. One source put it bluntly, Rachel's press tour blew a hole in the ship, and now everyone's scrambling for a lifeboat. And the damage isn't done yet. More behind-the-scenes dirt is expected to drop soon, and if it does, it could permanently change how Disney handles its stars going forward. Want the latest tea before it breaks? Smash that like button, flood the comments with your takes, and hit subscribe. We've got the inside scoop coming fast. Just when you thought the Snow White chaos had peaked, boom, another twist drops. Turns out, some Disney insiders are now pointing fingers directly at the marketing team, saying the entire promotional campaign was a ticking time bomb. They claim the studio let Rachel Zegler speak way too freely during interviews, without any kind of media training or filter. One executive allegedly said, "It was like watching a car crash in slow motion, and we couldn't look away." Behind closed doors, there's serious regret about how Rachel was positioned as the modern face of the classic tale. From mocking the original story to saying things like, "We won't be rescuing a man this time," her comments didn't just stir up controversy. They lit a firestorm. Longtime Disney fans felt alienated, and families that once trusted the brand started backing off fast. Now, the blowback's gotten so intense that Disney is reportedly rewriting internal guidelines on how actors should represent their films in public. Word is, they want more control over interviews, tighter press talking points, and stricter clauses about public image. Basically, no more freelancing from the cast. And guess who's become the cautionary tale in all of this? Yep, Rachel Zegler. One source even joked, "From now on, all PR meetings start with, 'Don't do a Rachel.'" Brutal. Want more exclusives before they break the news cycle? Hit that like button, drop your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. This Hollywood storm isn't slowing down. What Rachel Zegler did to her co-star Andrew Byrne. Straight up disrespectful. The guy worked hard to bring his role to life. And Rachel went out in interviews calling the classic prince a stalker. She didn't just criticize the character. She mocked the whole love story that generations of fans grew up loving. Instead of honoring the fairy tale roots, Rachel pushed a totally reworked version of Snow White. No romance, no prince, just a solo, dominant lead. That might have worked in another movie, but here, it flipped everything people expected from the remake. Disney built its entire brand on magic, love, and timeless fairy tales. And suddenly, they were tearing it all down from the inside. Between throwing shade at her co-stars, dividing Disney's top execs, and outraging fans globally, Rachel didn't just fumble the ball, she lit the whole playbook on fire. She didn't tank one movie. She scorched the entire Snow White legacy. At this point, there's almost no comeback. What started as a box office bomb has turned into one of Hollywood's biggest cautionary tales. Over 1,200 theaters dropped the film, Disney shelved their future live-action plans, and even Gal Gadot, who was in the same movie, refused to defend her. That's how deep the fallout goes. Rachel's press tour interviews, behind-the-scenes power grabs, and constant political hot takes didn't just hurt one project. They wrecked a billion-dollar remake strategy Disney was counting on. And now, even Rachel's Hollywood future is on the line, with major studios quietly walking away. But what do you think? Can Rachel Zegler still save her career after all this? Was Disney's collapse caused by poor leadership, or did Rachel's attitude seal the deal? And should Disney just stop with the live-action remakes altogether? Drop your take in the comments. We're reading everything. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. Your opinion might get featured in the next video.